prophet. A prophet? Isn't that wonderful? And I say, let the void bathe you in its beautiful energy. Oh.
Alright. Welcome back. Sorry for the abrupt intro. As ever, this is Warframe Wednesdays. I am your host, Fraggoth. And today... Why are we going the long way? That's a good question. Why am I jumping so high? I don't remember Baruch jumping quite this high before. So, I can't play as Gauss at the moment.
We've reached the prison. Our prisoner in one of these cells.
That's right, I should be blocking stuff. Hello. Is he gonna open that door? Or do I have to do it? I'm gonna start moving ahead. I'm gonna get out of this room.
Thank you, General.
Because we're doing yesterday's sortie today.
The prisoner to the
That makes
extraction
sense,
point.
right?
I'll take care
Right.
of the rest.
Right. So that's what we're doing. So,
Give me a weapon and I'll watch your back.
reason I can't play as Gauss.
Heading to
A,
our location.
I will consider what I have learned from this skirmish.
A, I'm going to interrupt myself when I'm talking, so you'll never find out the reason. And B, much more pressingly, he's, or pertinently, he's not max rank, so he can't. So there. Hope these guys hurry up, because we're on the clock. As long as we start the last mission, which is a defense, before, before the sortie changeover, we're good. I don't even know what I have kitted out on my Baruch, I just kind of grabbed him. So the reason I'm playing as Baruch, and I'm probably going to play as Garuda a couple times as well, is that I've come to the realization that I do not get Gauss at all, in the slightest. I do not get him, Sam I am. I do not get him.
And I say, let the
Like,
void
I struggle
you
very
its
desperately to
beautiful
understand
energy.
his purpose,
Come with us,
and
all
or at
you
least
can
how to
follow.
use him effectively. So, turns out going with the build that I was using last week, which was all duration, all the time, in fact, is actively hindering you pretty badly, because it makes getting up to 100% on his redline ability
This is a
basically
mobile
undoable.
mission. You must
Uh,
deliver payloads and
I
defend
don't know
a
if there's
number of
something else that
locations while I
counteracts it,
break into the network.
but it makes it so
Be
that you
prepared for
cannot
heavy
build up that
resistance.
gauge, that additional
Can't do
battery
this without you.
gauge, uh,
We'll put an end
to
to
the
this
fullest
corpus
and
for
get,
today.
Terminal spotted. Upload me and prepare to defend.
oh, I don't have my ability active. That'd probably help. Come on. Shoot me.
I'm in, Tenno. This will take a moment.
Shoot at me, you fools. I'm gonna turn around. There we go. This is better.
Heavy
Okay.
robotic signature detected. Lock and load.
We're just gonna hop right into restraint. I don't even remember what my other abilities are right now.
Still working on it. Continue to defend.
So as you can see, the attack range on this thing is monstrous. Like, there's stuff behind walls that I'm killing. It ain't no big thing. Wow, that was interesting. It somehow toggled aim down sights. I don't remember how to use this guy. I think this is my low,
We have got to find
my
a
high
terminal.
duration, low range build.
Proceed and prepare.
I'll have to check, but I don't have time, so. But it ain't no thing.
Location reached.
See, Baruch is all about synergizing, and Gauss is all about synergizing. One could easily argue Octavia is all about synergizing, but Octavia is also desperately busted. In every way. She is incredibly strong for, like, no effort expenditure at all. Oh, hey, you're not supposed to do that. You're supposed to go to sleep. Go to sleep. I'm hitting the wrong button over and over. That's neat. Okay. Okay, so I need to keep those up. That's right. That's
Still working
fine.
on it. Continue to defend.
There we go. And if I get this thing up to full, which is not going to be especially difficult to do, I am at that point.
Area completed. Move on.
Time-wise, it's going to be close. Might not actually make it. But we're trying for it anyway.
Here.
I haven't been doing many sorties lately because I've been kind of busy farming absolutely anything else.
Tenno. This will take a moment.
Alright. I have no restraint, only murder. So as you can see, obnoxious amounts of range. He's kind of strong. I think I've pointed this out before in the past. But he's a pretty disgusting fellow. He's an extremely strong frame. I don't even know his combos. I just know that sliding makes everything levitate in front of you, and then just attacking in general makes everything around you die horribly. I shouldn't have done that. That was a mistake. That was a big, big mistake. That was a tragedy in slow motion. Let's get out of here. I don't think we're going to be able to get the other one started, but I'm going to try real hard to be fast on the button. Baruch's also not especially hard to use. I used to be very confused as to how to actually build him properly, but whatever I've got going on is working handily. Whereas with Gauss, he's almost worse in that regard, because Baruch has a lot of conflicting synergies, whereas Gauss...
Before you can be rich, you must be
I'm hitting
poor.
start. We've got to go. We don't have time.
To the void.
Gauss almost demands you build fairly evenly, which isn't a problem. I don't actually mind doing that. And building evenly has actually worked out very handily for me with Gauss, but because you're able to actually use everything he's got
Our position has
pretty
been
handily.
compromised. Defend the cargo until reinforcements arrive.
I have to double check my all-rounder build and make sure that I have, what's it called, attached? Adaptation. Because adaptation is kind of an important mod to have equipped. Alright, I need to turn that off so I can actually gain, which I do need. So, to start with... Oh wow, that didn't take long. That's not good. Okay. Okay.
They've got me. Tenno. Hell.
So we can't afford to lose this. I really hope he's reviving that operative. Very good. Just feel like they home in a lot better now.
Bleeding out.
Okay, so that's gonna help. I meant to revive that dude. Once I have my restraint built up, I'm just gonna be killing everything and none of this is going to matter. That's gonna take a little time. What are you equipped with, friend? Can't even see a gun. Oh, let's give you a real gun. So apparently this is a very high range build. Oh my gosh, it just dies. Okay, fine. This is fine. I can make it work. Just have to... So, one of the advantages Baruch has is he's got a lot of crowd control, which you don't ordinarily need if you can just kill things. I'm not built to kill. I am, however, built to disrupt very handily. Oh, good idea. Oh, excellent. You all can take a nap.
Bleeding out.
They can revive him. I trust them. are my combos anyway? Do I have a pause combo? Oh, forward combo, that's what it is. Okay. So that's not the combo I want to use. I want to be using forward or the, oh my gosh. So long as we can keep reviving him, it's not that big a deal. It's not that big a deal. I'm having a few energy problems at the moment. Nothing we can't deal with. So yeah, pretty hefty duration. Looks like I just decided to hell with it for actual attack damage, which is fine. Usually not a problem, and I am, of course, killing things pretty handily at this point. Oh my gosh. This is fine. This is fine. I can make this work. Doing a good job of keeping my restraints centralized though, so I'm basically able to keep doing my thing, which is good. Ah, look at that ragdoll. Oh. Oh, wow, it finally broke open. 5 more rounds. All we have to do is keep, you know, making things die. And I will accept lots of crowd control and locking down of enemies. My energy drain is getting a little... Well, I'm keeping it under control, so it's okay. Also probably getting a fair number of physics kills. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I do. One of the disadvantages Baruch has is that his melee attack speed is really low. What is it? You down? No, you're alive. Yeah, he's got like no health. That's okay. So I'm doing lots of slide attacks, largely for purposes of... Oh, I need to... start regaining restraint. I'm in trouble. I'm going to stay in this mode though for now because it is advantageous to do so. I'm going to turn it off temporarily so I can start not as far a range as I would have liked. to do that. It's okay. Alright, we're doing alright. We're doing alright. Gonna turn off my, that thing for now. Just so I can gain a little more juice back. And I think now we're good again, which is nice. Yeah, we're good. We got this. It's just a matter of actually killing everything. And now that my restraint is back up, I have no fears on that score. And after this, we'll do today's sortie, which will be nice. Oh, that's interesting. And, so his block melee combo, well, formerly known as block melee combo, I should say. Actually pulls enemies in, which is good. Ow. That would have hurt if it had actually done any damage. I have to recharge energy pretty badly, so I'm gonna get on that. Not too many enemies around, there's just one or two floating about. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, collecting some more juice. There we go. That should. Get me right where I want to be. Yeah, keeping them ragdolled is fantastic. As you can see, not mountains of damage at this point, but because the enemies are starting to really scale up there, and I think we're dealing with what, like level 80s now? No, 90s, like high 90s, hundreds, low hundreds.
They've got me. Tenno. Help.
Oh, no. I'm gonna give him a shoot again. It's Mendo floating around, I want it. Yeah, we're doing okay. One wave left. He just will go down if there's even a stray bullet, but Regular crewmen and MOAs, though, they're going down no problem, so that's fine. Just juggling them. Oh, nice. Not quite sure how I managed to get a finish on it. They must have stumbled enough so that I was able to get a ground pound equivalent. But it looked like a backstab. Okay, now I need to focus on getting my restrict. Oh, doesn't matter. Cool. So that went well. And we got a big endo drop. Very nice. Very nice. Okay. Liking the endo. Liking the endo. Let's see. What is our endo at the moment? We have... Oh, we have enough for a primed mod. I don't think there's anything I really wanted to upgrade. No. Sorry. Maybe primed morphic transmorpher. Finally commit to that. Let's oh, what's pack leader? Oh yeah, pet healing one. That one's not bad either, but the way late game damage works in this game, it's usually you don't need to worry about them being healed, it's just getting one shot. So with Morphic Transmorpher, I have a broken build that shouldn't be functional. Okay, they are both 5 cost. So I think it is probably time to finally just commit and upgrade that. In fact, I'll show it off. I don't know that this is a good idea. This could get me in trouble. It is on my Elytron unless they finally just bopped the mod out. Yeah, they did. They did finally just bop the mod out. That's fine. That's for the best. So yeah, I guess I'll upgrade Morphic Transmorpher. Jeez. He was on that, right? Not, 'cause that was an issue for a long time. So the way it manifested is I had Morphic Transmorpher on there. And then I was able to get primed Morphic Transmorpher on there, so instead of having 20 ability strength, I had plus 25. But they fixed that. They fixed it, quote unquote, a long time ago, but on any builds that had it currently equipped, it did not take effect at the time. So pretty moot point. I knew they'd fix that eventually. It was just kind of a waiting game. So I'll upgrade that. Not that I really need Arcwing damage for anything at all. But let's go to mods then. No, wrong section. Select mode, vehicles, upgrade, mods, and we'll just beep, 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 boop, 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 boop. It's 55 ability strength. That should be able to still fit in there, which is good. And on the Elytron, at some point I should get, actually, if I got a hyphen on there now, I could max that out and just call it a day. Well, I've got a maxed one. I might as well do that, right? Let's do it. We can do some Arcwing today. How about that? I don't know what else I'll put in there. Oh, can I? Because I've already got one. I don't. Yeah, I can just equip it. One sec, I've got a phone call. I'll be right back. Alright, sorry about that. That was a little embarrassing, but I've got that taken care of. Alright, I don't even know what I'm going to put in here afterwards. I have no clue. I haven't even thought that far along, because I've got all the core stuff except for hype thrusters. I mean, I guess I could put in, like... Although I'm only going to have 6 points free. I could put in, like, a moderately leveled argon plating or energy amplifier, or not energy amplifier, the other one. Where are you? Or afterburner, base level afterburner. I don't know. Doesn't matter. We'll fiddle with that later. Do we have our Imperative Vandal next? We do indeed. At some point I'm gonna have to start working on getting Arcwing ribbons, now that we have an expanded ribbon cap, which is good. What do we got? Ooh, an Excal and an Amprax? Yes! We're doing an RB. We're doing an RB, ladies and gents. If Excalibur Prime doesn't count, I'm gonna cry. Just a little bit. Not a lot, but a little. I'll cry a little bit. And an Amprax. Oh, there's a mod I wanted to slap on here, I think. Maybe? Maybe not. Put in Prime Fast Hands for the moment. And Acarius. What was the thing I wanted to put in here? I think it was reload time. And I believe, could be wrong, but believe that the sprinting reload time is also reduced if you have a reload reducing thing. So you can actually reload these very quickly, and then ammo becomes your real problem. Okay, Amprax, right? Let's get that puppy equipped. Amprax is a beast to begin with. Or can be a beast. I don't even know what we're fighting. I have no clue. Let's see. So my biggest difficulty here is going to be... Okay, good. I have adaptation equipped. Is going to be my ability to stay alive. Yeah, I think that'll do. It's an all-rounder, and all-rounder builds are often problematic. But we're also going to be scything through them like they don't even exist. And that's what counts. And I do have Condition Overload equipped. Excellent. I'm going to have to formula this thing again at some point. I'm not doing that today. Okay, that's not too shabby. I can make all that work. Okay. So, my biggest problem is going to be, staying alive, staying alive. Okay. So we're doing that RB. It's an interception, which isn't bad. I like interceptions. Actually, on that note, if it's an interception, I want my Zenistar. Zenistars make these, oh so good. Zenistars put in work on these. There we go. Yes, Blast Corrosive will be fine. Let me just double check. Yes, and yes, okay. All that range. Okay. So this is going to let me be able to actually leave locations occasionally. It'll still not be wise to do that, but it's going to allow me to have some variability in where I am at any given time. It occurs to me that I forgot to equip a new Loca sigil, but that's okay. That isn't earth-shattering. Like, that's going to build up anyway. I haven't checked it in a week. Oh, we've got a Limbo? We're set. This will be cake. I don't think that did it.
In total control. Keep
Please? Thank you. I'm just gonna get my energy up. There we go. That's fine. Let me find out where I need to be. So what I'm gonna do... No, I don't want to do it there, I want to do it here. This one is easier to block outright. I think that'll do it, yeah, that should be fine. I meant to take a different gun for my secondary. I'll be fine. This'll be okay. And since this is Corpus, gas will actually be worthwhile, because that's gonna do a pretty decent job of ignoring their health, or their shields. Where are you? Where are you? Get over here.
Tower lost.
I don't remember where the activatable panels for this area are.
Taken a tower.
There's one there, I know that. Where's the other one? There's always two, right? Oh wow, we're not doing very well at all. What have I joined?
Tower online. The enemy have captured a tower.
Yeah, so we're about to lose. That's good.
Tower lost.
Nice.
The
Wow.
enemy is dominating. You must capture a tower. Quickly.
Is it gonna let us
The
do it
enemy
again?
have captured the message. We have failed.
Yeah, no. Wow.
Let's go on the offensive.
Fortunately, I cannot take credit for failing that time. That is not, I don't think, my fault. And now, I don't think... Actually, I don't want to be with these people. Not if that shit's gonna happen again. I'm not okay with that.
We have located the enemy's planetary communication towers. Capture the towers and remain in control to decode.
Just need to build
incoming
my
messages.
energy a little bit. I had a golden opportunity there to switch to my kit gun, and I did not take it. In general, as a rule, you want to be as kitted out as humanly possible for these. Alright, there's one. Oh, they're right there. I think the range on this then can hit that. I think it's able to hit both, so... Fine, be that way. Come at me.
Tower online.
Disadvantage of this build, of the defects it has, is that it is rather energy hungry. Fortunately, it's consistent energy hunger as opposed to inconsistent energy hunger, so it's all good. RB drones are a pain. Uh-oh. Trouble. Oh shit.
We have lost control of a tower.
And of course on cue, arbitration drones just vanish.
We are in total control. Keep fighting.
I can't actually tell what skin that is. We lost 2 people already? Oh, that's a bad sign.
Lost. The enemy have captured a tower.
Yeah, that guy knows what he's about for Korra.
The enemy have taken a tower. You must recapture it. Tower captured. Beginning stream decode now. We cannot allow the enemy to learn of our espionage. Eliminate enemy personnel.
Yeah, I think that's Zenistar is doing what it needs to, which is excellent. Once I have this captured, I'm gonna zip over there real quick. Because I see some mods and stuff on the ground.
This tower is ours now. We have control of all 4 towers.
Yeah. It's all fun and games until one of the arbitration drones shows up and just starts making everything not die. Stuff like Excalibur is pretty much what those are designed to deal with. I do have to stay somewhat close so that my Zenistar puck doesn't fly away, but other than that, I'm pretty free to do what I need to do here. Yeah, I think it is a mag, which is good. Mag is strong.
The enemy have captured a tower.
gosh, stop. Okay. Damage I'm doing is adequate. Problem is, when things go invulnerable, their problems start. When that happens, I'm in trouble. Oh shoot, I forgot to get my Zenistar back up.
Message decoded. None alive.
Yeah, that Korra is putting in work. Very well built Korra. Somebody who knows how to use that frame much better than I do, so lots of credit where that's due. Turn off my sword.
The enemy have deployed fierce reinforcements. Are you willing to code more messages?
Why would you leave? Why would you only take one Vitus Essence? You can always get more than that. Oh well. Alright, let's see if it's still there. Probably isn't. No, because once you succeed and get any rewards from it, it goes away. Why would you do that? I wasn't going to be able to solo that, so I wasn't even going to try. Let's see. Oh, I can't do Gauss. I need to do somebody who's max level. Right. Oh, I haven't done Revenant in a while. Why not? Where are you? Exaltra. There we go. What was I putting in here? I had a game plan for this, but I don't remember what it was. Does that mangle my pretty badly? I don't want gas magnetic. Well, gas magnetic blast, I guess you could do worse than that, but I don't want that. I guess slap auger packed in there. Oh, and it has pretty good reload speed. Well, better than one rank of that, anyway. Won't make much difference. I'll keep that equipped for now. And then I'm really not positive where I was going with this. I think I knew I needed to get another Forma in there, so that might have been what it was. Maybe get heavy caliber in there for spray and pray. I don't need accuracy, I just shoot. have a saw ribbon? Oh, I haven't fiddled with this yet. This thing. No, that's not the one. Tatsu. That's not one. I haven't fiddled with Tatsu in a while. Tatsu's hilarious. Because you like... What else is blade? Yeah, charge cap is increased. So you throw out, you shoot out skulls, and it's really cool. Don't I have a skin for this too now? Yeah, I do. That's right, and it's fairly cool. I wonder if that changes what the skulls look like. That'd be cool. Alright. Shoot. Oh yeah, infested stuff. Die. So, a new system they have in there for this Nightwave is now when you do these Nightwave, these infested invasions, you get I don't know what my build is on this. I have concerns.
Listen for its fangs. You are getting close.
You get now,
Your target.
after completing 3, you get 1 key for a does not look like it changed. The skull shots, but I'm not seeing them from the correct angle. I'd have to go into like I'm going the wrong way. Oh, that's fantastic. That's just truly spectacular. Nice. It's like a kilometer away. Good work, dude. Hoi polloi. I'd have to go into Captura mode in order to see what the skull looks like now. It's one of those little things. You might see it if it like spins around a bunch. Let's see how far I go with this, then I'll know. Oh, right. That's the wrong ability. Pretty far, so I think it's my duration build? Or is it range? Neither of those is particularly strong, if I'm honest. Wow. Yeah. Oh no, he's right.
I will consider what I have learned from this skirmish.
They won't be bothering us anymore. Let's get out of here.
So when I go through 3 of these, you wind up getting this little key that'll open up a node. LMAO, it says. Wrong one. There we go. And I'll show you what that looks like. So you see this thing floating in space over here. It says Emissary something defense. Basically, you get a key that unlocks that, and at the end of that mission, you'll get like 1,500 Emissary Nightwave score, which is not too shabby, considering you can do quite a few of those.
Find your mark and eliminate the assigned target.
But you can only do so many, because there are only so many of that, the infested invasions.
This place is crawling with
available at any given time. Oh, that's right. Those are allies, you doof. I knew that.
Listen for its screams. This will mean we're getting close.
Swoosh. And forward kills are mind-numbingly easy. Forward is a relic of the old days. He is not an especially difficult boss.
This one is a handful.
Yeah, this is a duration build. That's fine. There are advantages to going with a damage build over a duration build, because you get a lot more of the Revenant skin, or whatever it's called.
Target down. Assassination contract complete. Great work, Tenno.
Which basically is contractual immortality, or conditional immortality. You're invincible for X number of hits, and I think that number can go up pretty high. It doesn't mean a whole lot of sput against friggin' Grineer, who just burst fire you down anyway and don't care. At all. They do not care in the slightest. Alright, good. We're getting in on the last one here, which is good. I just realized I could be doing Gauss with these. Oh well. Too late now. I really don't want to hit them. Not especially durable enemies. Then again, the Exceltra is pretty strong in terms of its damage output. It's when it has to reload that the problems start. Also has that timed projectile thing, or distance timed thing. It's very noticeable when stuff gets up in your face and you just aren't damaging it nearly as much. I think that's an Eximus down there, but it really doesn't matter.
Nice work taking down the VIP. Now get to this action.
But yeah, you can work around, like, you see they're not exploding. But if I do that, that's just at its range. It's fairly short. Oh my gosh, why are you going the wrong way? Why? Why you do this? What have I done? I removed all my buffs is what I did. Part of me wishes that falling into pits wouldn't remove your buffs, and then the rest of me is like, that is like the only thing you can actually do to make falling relevant. So yeah, if you're very selective with how you shoot the Exceltra, it has a lot of ammo. That's doing substantial damage. Admittedly, this is all load level stuff, but you could just mag dump. Because why wouldn't you?
They won't be bothering us anymore. Let's get out of here.
So if any of my loyal viewers have any suggestions for how to build Gauss effectively, I am open to them. Okay, so at the end of this, you should see communication. Here we go. Success! You went above the call of duty. The skill you displayed will inspire your fellow warriors. And she gives you a Zealot Derelict code, and that'll send you to a Orican Derelict tile set specific to this Nightwave. I'm going to get my Gauss equipped and suffer through that. Let me see what I have on him. If I've got a Vigor on there, I am swapping that for a... If I can find it, adaptation. I need to check to see how many adaptations I need. I need a backup adaptation that I can get up to max rank. Okay. So adaptation, I think, is going to serve me a bit better. This is my all-rounder build. It is not anything special at all. It is not a special build. It is what it is. Actually, let me check my standing situation. Yeah, nothing to worry about there. Nothing interesting on that front. So, what we do with that den there is we have one. Now we're joining this Emissary Derelict Mobile Defense, where I get to flail around as Gauss and look like a complete idiot because the tile sets are not conducive to using Gauss, or half his kit anyway. Well, maybe not half, but a bunch of his kit. I don't dislike Gauss,
This is a mobile defense.
or as it keeps getting pronounced in some circles, Gauss, which is,
Be prepared for heavy resistance.
if I'm kind, fucking wrong. Unless, of course, it's the Warframe pronunciation of Gauss, which is fine, but it is definitely Gauss. Right by the door.
Get to a terminal and prepare for enemy resistance.
So with an all-rounder build, you're actually able to do everything.
And get ready to defend.
Which is good, because doing everything is good. Come on, get in there. Oh, don't you do this. Don't even. Get out of here. Get out of here.
This will take a moment.
Chilly time.
Heavy infestation ahead.
The difficulties I do have is occasionally energy management. So one of the things you do is you mash that to keep the gauge up. You don't have to keep doing it, but just long enough so that that gauge stays up. So that'll keep your... There we go. So we have 10 effective seconds. Less, actually. So I could go with more duration, and I would very much like to go with more duration. However,
Still working on it. Continue to defend.
going with more duration has disadvantages and problems all its own. Oh, that was new. What the hell are you? I don't know, but I'm gonna keep scanning its shit. And as you can see, if you don't keep up with it, you don't get anything out of Redline. There's got to be a way to get Redline up and up to 100% a lot quicker. But I do not know what it is.
We are finished here. Move on.
Maybe have negative duration, which I would hate to do. Most of the routes towards that are towards builds I am not a huge fan of. And playstyle. I think the bottom line for me is that Gauss is not my kind of playstyle. So my brain just has a really hard time coming to grips with how to actually do him.
Location reached. Drop me in. And our position. I'm in, Tenno. This will take a moment.
You're supposed to basically be casting your abilities 24/7, so maybe going with negative duration will happen because I need the efficiency in order to do that. He's also not max rank, so he's going to have more time in Redline anyway, later.
Still working on it. Continue to defend.
Yeah, you basically want to have Redline up all the time because it takes so much time and effort to actually get it to full capacity.
The odds were against
Oh,
us, Tenno.
nice. Dude was pinging
We
it.
did it.
That's
Mission
good.
complete.
I appreciate that. But yeah, you can never stop moving, and you know, there's, so yeah, 1500 emissary standing, which is great. Let's check my Nightwave stuff then.
Always a pleasure.
9250. It's not too bad. And of course, at this point, it's all you're getting is emissary credits. Let's see, is there anything here I don't have? I don't think so. Looks like they did rotate a few rewards around. Anything here that I want a duplicate of? Oh wow, they even have one for getting additional Kuva. That's cute. I would never do that to myself. And there's also wolf beacons, which are pretty cool. So you can do a bunch of those in a given day. Let's see. I can't really do this. What is this? Disruption. Disruption's fine. Hijack is a pain. Spy is okay. So we can do that. I also need to farm up some of my relics. It's, the Arbia, Excalibur, and the Magnus. We'll do that sortie. Why not? Why not? What are we doing with you? What are we doing with you? That'll give me 12. Actually, 14. Actually, could go with critical delay since this thing can already do crits pretty well. I think maybe I'll go for a crit build on this one. Maybe I'll do that. Although, why would I go with critical delay over point strike is a good question. I don't have the room really. Let's check my crit options. I think those are it really for actual crit chance. Other than Argon Scope, which I hesitate to rely on with anything that explodes. So what does that actually get up to? 80 and then 95.4. I mean, you'll be critting a lot. But I think it'd probably be better if you just went with, where are you? Vital Sense. Which gets you up to 6.2. I mean, that's more than enough. That's pretty damned damaging. Because it's critting often as it is. So I guess that's my route, my path to success is filling both those slots with those two crit related stats, mods, whatever. So I guess I'll go to actions and polarize probably you. Let's math it out in our heads. So that'll give me 8, 9, 10, 14, and I need 18. So I'm gonna have to form a 2 slots anyway. Okay, so I guess it doesn't really matter which one I go with first. So with that in mind, go with this one first. Why did you do that? There you go. So that's gonna get me the most bang for my buck. Unfortunately, it's also not gonna give me enough to actually equip one of them. Rubbish. It's rubbish. What can I put there temporarily? That only costs 7. Yeah, I don't need more fire rate. Frassum. Actually, this will convert to corrosive. Yeah, corrosive cold, that'll be fine. Let's see. And you, what do I want to do with you? Oh, my music died. Hello. Wrong folder. More of the same. Where are you? Here you are. Nope, not that one. There you are. Okay. Looking at this stuff, what do I want? It's not a crit machine, so ignore crits entirely. Crits are off limits. There's really not much I can do here other than getting... Well, actually, that synergizes fairly well. Since it gives me additional status chance and it reduces my reload time, it does not boost damage, however, and that is traditionally what you want to be going for, especially since its status rate is already pretty darn high. So we can do that. 6, 7, 8, so I could get another... another mod in there, and I can flip stuff around if need be, because that's okay. Yeah, because I'll have, what, 5, 6, 7? Yeah, I'll have 7 free. Yeah. Put in a V polarity, say, there-ish. Yeah, and I'll be able to get another status mod on there, so that'll boost my damage considerably anyway. Okay. That'll do. I got Gauss. I've got to actually check to see what relics I need right now. I need to actually go to my Wukong Prime build section. I still have not got him built. I'm planning this week and next to focus him down and his equipment. So I still need neuroptics. And I still need string receiver barrel. And I need everything for the Nkandi except for the BP. So let's focus down and see what neuroptics. Wukong. It's probably in here. No, it's not. It's chassis, systems, chassis, neuroptics. I only have one, of course. Because why wouldn't we? Why wouldn't we only have one? Axie. Axie G2. Axie G2 and Prey. Axie, what do we got? What's quick? Exterm is quick. Axie, and we'll go with our G2. G2. Which does indeed have the Wukong Prime Neuroptics. This isn't gonna work. But we're gonna try it anyway. Got a 1 in 3. Well, no, it's much lower than that. It's not great odds, is what I'm saying. Have I ever mentioned that I'm not a huge fan of the relic system and I preferred the tower keys? Yeah, I did. It was simpler. You had... Yes, you were spending a lot more time sitting around doing stuff in the void, but you were doing stuff in the void. It's like you were doing things. You didn't have to grind the key as much. Getting keys was easy. You just accumulated them like it was nothing. Ooh, that's impressive.
The relic has been cracked open. Finish your mission to find out what's inside.
Oh, good. We do have all the relics, or the reactant we needed, which is wonderful news, I guess. I do rather like both of Gauss's weapons a lot, though. I've been very fond with how those have operated so far. Yes! This is fine. So now I can build Wukong at long last. Wukong Prime. That's good. I didn't get any Argon, I don't think, from that run. Awesome. Productivity.
Another job well executed.
Making progress. Now, I think I'm outright missing some of the relics I need for both the Ninkandi and the, what is it called? The Zhuge Prime. Someone has an actual proper pronunciation of that, I would be very happy to hear it. I do not know what it is. I have no clue. So, Zhuge Prime, I do need barrel, receiver, string. Barrel, receiver, string. Zhuge. Okay, so what don't I have? The string, of course. Barrel and receiver, what I need. Okay, I've got the BP. I need the barrel. Since that is a rare. Okay. No, that's the grip. I don't need the grip. Oh my gosh, why does it keep doing this to me? For this, probably it would be wise to upgrade. Yeah, because that gives me the best chance of an uncommon. Gives me a great chance for a rare too, but it gives me a better chance of an uncommon than a common, I think. Of course, I'll probably get the Forma, knowing my luck. Okay, so that's an Axie D1. So we'll do another Axie run. And I'm looking for the D1. D1. D1, which should indeed be yes for the receiver. Probably will not get it. Not expecting it. I'm astounded that I got the Wukong Prime Neuroptics. That's very nice, very pleasant surprise.
The enemies are dropping reactants. You are going to need more reactants. Want to open that relic.
Ah, and there's our Argon, which I need to build, I think, Wukong. So I'll get that started. I think I need 2 of them, too.
Keep fighting. As long as the enemy is here, this tower is useless to us.
No!
For the Tenno.
Using his 1 seems to be about as effective at building his gauge as his 3. Just tapping it as sort of a not exactly teleport.
Finish your mission to find out.
Oh, I didn't want to do that. More Argon. Oh, it's good that I'm getting some Argon, because I do need it. So that's fine. I remain unconvinced that Gauss can actually get anywhere faster than an operator with Void Dash, but I don't know. Yeah. He can still get around pretty quickly, just in open areas and straight lines. And I'll be honest, I think Nezha can probably outdo him on some of that. And it requires a lot less juice to do it. I mean, you literally just toggle Nezha's 1 and learn how to booty scoot. Basically unforgivable. I don't actually know what they're saying. I should really learn Corpus and Grineer and start just shouting it everywhere. I'll look like a real loon. I'm a fan. I'm not that big a fan. That's a lie. I am that big a fan. I would do it. Said the guy who's never learned Elvish in his life. I knew someone, though, who took the time to learn Elvish. Well, Tolkien's Elvish, anyway. Which was pretty cool. So because I have a very dark energy color for Gauss, there's a lot... Ow. Oh, okay. Well, that's fine. Oh my gosh, stop rolling. There we go. Ah, stop going the wrong way. Uh-oh. Is that a stalker on me? Stalker's had his eyes out for my booty for a while now. I don't think it is. I'm not getting the same sound effects. It's not on me, anyway. What on whom? Okay. I'm glad whoever's having a hunter on them just isn't communicating, which is fantastic. I have better things to do than kill whatever it is. If they're not going to communicate, then fine. They can deal with it on their own. It's their problem now. Womp womp. Not anything I wanted. So, crap. Jeez Louise, I don't know.
Another job well executed.
I can get my Wukong building though, so I'll get that started. Let's see, Neuroptics, oh yeah, these are cheap. Only, I mean, there's Nitane cost, but big deal. And then Argon cost, big deal. Since you can farm up many Argon pretty quickly. Because nothing requires more than a couple. Like, if you needed, like, 20 Argon for something at once, yeah, it'd be an issue. Like, Argon would be a real pain, but as it is, it's like, you just go and get the resource and call it a night. Let's look up Ninkandi components. Nink. Okay, what do you have? You have the chain, because of course you do. Of course. I think you only need one Ninkandi Prime chain, though. Right? Shit, you better hope. It's an uncommon, so that's not that bad, right? You need 2 handles, which are both rare. I've got a lot more of these to learn, so I say a lot. I mean, a couple. And I can rip these to Radiant, so I'm doing Meso runs. Woo, hooray me. Meso is for Ninkande Prime handles. I should join a rad share. Yeah, 2 handles and 1 chain. I also need to do things that actually give me.
Use these to cleanse the unclean.
And I can get 2 of those.
By the mother.
Another handle, I don't care. Keeping my eyes peeled for... I do need the receiver. Okay, so that's good. So the D1 will be nice. Oh wait, no. Is receiver the one I have? Or is grip the one I already have? Juge. Yeah, receiver's one I do not have. Okay. That's fine then. We're gonna do mesos anyway though. Wherever they are. Oh, it's a defense. Not as desirable. They're not as big a time sink, but they are a time sink nink. I know, we just pray that we get one. 2. We need to get 2. 1 is insufficient, we need 2. I may convert him to range, just to see how that works. Problem with going full range is I think that kicks your uptime and power right in the junk.
The enemy is at our doorstep. We must defend our equipment until reinforcements arrive.
I've got to paint my...
You'll need to be careful.
There are void fissures in the area. Use these to crack open a relic. Out for reactant. The enemies are dropping reactant. Reactant is working on your relic. Find more.
So as you can see, he's rather expensive to use for energy consumption, because you have to keep recasting abilities constantly, which isn't a bad thing in and of itself. Garuda is kind of effort intensive as well, but Gauss to me feels a lot harder to do well with than Garuda, because he's very reliant on his gimmicks, whereas Garuda can kind of just do things on her own. Like, I appreciate the synergy, I really do. I do like the synergy, and the synergy is good. I like frames with synergy. But the synergy he has is pretty, like, if you're not using that synergy, it just feels kind of aimless and shiftless. Like, why am I using this instead of Wisp? Basically. That was painful. Yeah, the ammo mutation really helps keep you in the money for these weapons as well, because they, as you can see, they have really small ammo caps. But he can be very tanky. Where are you? Where are you? Yeah, the longer you're at 100%, the better, because you've got these little projectiles that shoot out of you from time to time, which are quite adequate. They can cause some decent CC just by existing. And at 100%, you're shooting at a lot of them pretty frequently. You also have boosted melee damage, which I think applies to ranged weapons. But I forget what the condition is for that. If that's just during redline or if you've got the kinetic armor up. I have to recheck the wiki. Like, as someone I was talking to about Gauss said, Gauss is why the wiki exists. Like, Gauss is why you visit the wiki, because he is obscenely arcane. There's a lot of hidden mechanics that are going on at any given time with him that the game just does not tell you about very well. Some of them are told in the little tips section. In fact, like all of the gimmicks and weird little hidden mechanics that would be really nice to know are told in the tips section and nowhere else. And I'll show off where that is. And they aren't very good about telling you exactly how good any of that stuff is, but it's pretty good, most of it. I'm using the Tatsu only because I forgot to equip another weapon. Which isn't to say the Tatsu's bad, it's not. Tatsu is by no means bad. Oh, that zoom. Okay, so I didn't get what I wanted that run. That's fine. So you're both 45 ducats. I'll stick with mine, I guess. What is the N7? Oh, that gives me another handle. Nink. And I need two of those. Two of those puppies. Oh, good. We've got, like, at least one other person doing the same thing, which is good. If you didn't need to, it wouldn't be so bad. But you need to, and it's pretty bad. Because they're both rare. They're not uncommons. They're rares. I could look up the drop rates, but I'm not gonna do that to myself. Oh my gosh, just go away. Why didn't I just melee them, is the question. I forgot. So one of the other disadvantages to having your kinetic armor up is it drains your over battery pretty quickly, particularly if you're being shot at. As you can see, I completely... And in order to keep up with it, you need to basically keep mashing one. Because otherwise... Oh my gosh, what's going on? Yeah. So he's very hard to maintain. I'm tempted to go with like a 100% duration build and put a lot of points in other stuff, but that is hard to mod out. Or tricky, it's complicated. It's doable, but it's not easy. I mean, for a given value of easy, it's just pressing buttons, but it requires some exactitude that the give and take of stuff like corrupted mods doesn't really allow. Not easily, anyway. My difficulty, I guess, is that I spend more time activating abilities than actually doing anything as Gauss. Trying to get, like, my 4 up to 100% so I can start doing things, and when that's up, you're a monster, but until that point in time, you're not very monstrous at all. Go home, Space Noid. Yeah, the tattoo's okay. Not my favorite weapon in the game, but it's a cool gimmicky weapon, and I love those. I know a lot of people who hate gimmicky weapons. They just want, like, basic bitch assault rifles and shit, and I'm just like, no. If I don't have my goofy goo guns, and my rocket launchers, and my bouncy grenade launchers, and my black hole guns, and my thrown glaives from Crawl, you know, it's just, what's the point? I want goofy, wacky, like, silly gun shit and silly weapons. Give me those. Those are what I'm here for. Okay. Yeah, I am tempted to try quick thinking with Gauss. Energy problems, when you start having energy problems, they persist for like ever. They just continue for ages, and they're really frustrating. But when you're not having energy issues, you seem to have a really good energy economy. Don't you dare hit that bubble or I'm gonna be so mad. It helps that I've got Arcane Energize as well. I'm almost tempted to get a second one, but that would require months of solid grinding for that specifically, or spending a lot of plat, and I'm not about that right now. It's not to say that I couldn't probably afford it, and certainly not to say that I don't have materials I could trade to make that happen, but it just seems like a metagame and minigame within the game that I don't have time for. Ooh, he exploded. That's cool. It's too bad you only saw that for like half a split second. Not even a full split second, a half split second. It's not very long. Ah, no. projectiles the Tatsu shoots out are very nice. Sort of waiting for when we get another two-handed katana. I just sort of think that maybe making it a katana was sort of pointless. But or its own, because it's still basically alone. Then again, it took us a very long time before we got Sarpa, and we had the Redeemer for ages before that happened. The Glaive was alone less time than that. I don't actually remember how long the Glaive was alone offhand, because we got the Kestrel pretty shortly afterwards. I think we did. But at the time, the Glaive was hot shit. Now there's a lot of Glaive analogs that do the Glaive's job, but better. One of the other difficulties is that because I have dark energy color, you can't actually see 80% of what I'm doing. And for that, I sort of apologize, I guess. Not really. Oh no. But yeah. I'd kind of like a primary version of the Stug, maybe? I think that would be cool. I like the Stug a lot. Go, projectile. Where is you even heading, projectile? Where is you even heading? Not sure what I should use for an alternate energy color, because the blue isn't really doing it for me. Might have to go with like a... Oh, here we go. Moment of truth. Wow. Shafted. That's okay. I'm not gonna cry. I won't cry. Are these guys abandoning me to my fate? They sure are. Well, I gotta form a blueprint out of it, so that's okay, I guess. Oh, that's right. Isn't Barrow this week? Or was he last week and I just completely missed it because I was busy? Oh, we got a bunch of Hexanon from that. Not that I need any. And we're making progress with Gauss. So, when I say the tip screen for Gauss, I mean this thing. And there's like 8 pages. 8 pages. And they are all things that should probably be listed on the abilities themselves, because they're kind of friggin' important. So his passive, moving, generates an electrical current that fills the battery. The shields recharge up to 80% faster, while the recharge delay is up to 80% shorter based on the battery level. It can actually go up higher than that. That's the default level, and then when you go into redline, that goes up to 100%, so it is fast. So Mach Rush, burst into a hyper sprint, bowling over enemies and charging the battery, crashing into solid objects, generates a powerful shockwave. Hold to rush continuously. You notice I'm doing little taps. There's multiple reasons for that. The passive battery gain is much higher with the initial burst and doesn't really care after that. So filling it up is just a tap or two away. B, there's no room. There's absolutely no room on like 80 to 90% of the game, the playable game area, to actually hold and run. There's no room at all. So, no to that. Kinetic plating generates armor plating that converts a portion of absorbed kinetic damage into energy, which is where your energy is coming from, and it's pretty important. Also protects Gauss from being staggered or knocked down. Damage resistance is relative to battery level, so you want to get that as high as you can get it. And those damage types, when you're gaining that that energy, when you're taking hits, that converts your it uses up some of your battery. So if you're in a high intensity situation, despite your conditional immortality, you also have problems you have to be careful with. Thermal Sunder. Siphon kinetic energy from the area, charging the battery and inflicting cold status on nearby enemies. So cold is great because it charges your battery. Heat uses your battery, and that's not great. But it afflicts them with status either way, and that's highly useful. You can also stack them, and they'll do blast damage, knocking them down. That might only be with Redline. And then Redline, push Gauss's battery beyond the red line, supercharging his abilities and setting fire rate, attack speed, reload speed, and holster rate into overdrive. Big deal. The main reason you're doing it. When past the red line, bolts of arcing electricity dance periodically from Gauss, exploding en masse when the ability is deactivated. Okay, so that's cool. Those are neat. Those are not as important as these tips. So Mach Rush's impact shockwave causes a slash damage and slash status effect when kinetic plating is active. So that's important. Using Thermal Sunder to chill enemies causes those already affected by cold status to become frozen. So tap it again, double tap to freeze things. You can do that in one tap if you have Redline active. I'll tell you about that in a minute. Thermal Sunder to heat makes them take more damage over time. I believe it does the closest thing we have to actually stacking procs. In that nature, casting the opposite Thermal Sunder effect on enemies suffering heat or cold cancels the old status, deals blast damage, and inflicts the new status. So, status. Pretty good if you've got condition overload. Mach Rush consumes half as much energy when redlining. Important to know. Why is that not listed under redline? Because it would stretch past the top of the screen. Like you see, it goes from there up to there. It would go like, you would fill the screen completely. It'd be horrible. So, a million different things going on. When redlining with kinetic plating active, melee attacks inflict extra damage and stagger enemies. I believe it's actually plus 100% damage, which is substantial. Why don't they tell you that? I don't know. Thermal Sunder gains additional properties when Redline is active. Cold freezes enemies solid. Heat does additional damage, and the combined blast will strip armor, which is also fairly noteworthy, but energy expensive. Easily maintain Mach Rush's momentum by switching to the move forward button, which allows you to sort of toggle it. All of these things would be pretty good to know when looking at the abilities and stuff. I would skip through tips, but because they've got a million different things tacked onto these abilities, you can't see it. He's obscenely complex. I admire that, but I want the black there. Is this the... Yeah, okay. So I haven't decided what I want to do for an alternate energy color on this guy. Is the problem. So long as the speed lines remain dark, I'm okay with pretty much anything. Actually, yeah, that's what I'll do. Is I'll switch that from black over to the ice. No, that's the wrong one. There we go. I want the ice dark blue. And I'll switch this over to like a really vibrant red or something, or orange maybe. Red-orange. I do already have that, I think. Yeah, let's go with that red-orange. I think I have Daybreak equipped somewhere else anyway. So it's that red and blue shift effect. I may also slap just brightish blue, or vibrant blue, 255 on an RGB scale blue on there. Let me check how leveled my stuff is. Okay, we're good. What can I equip here? Sorry. Oh, I still haven't unlocked his Exilus slot. I had forgotten about that entirely. That's embarrassing. So that gives me 5 to work with, less if I use a hyphen They want you to use Rush. I say thee nay, but I don't have many other options. I don't need that. That doesn't really help me all that much. Oh, what is Motor Signal? Oh, holstered. The streamlined form is probably another one that it really wants you to use. I could probably slap Pain Threshold in there, or streamlined form rather, in there right now. Not that any of those do anything for me in the slightest, in terms of stuff that I'd like to have. But they really want you to use Rush or Maglev. They want you to have sprint speed 2 to max. I don't need sprint speed. I need less speed, if anything. If there was a way to slow myself down, I'd probably take it. And that is saying something. Handspring, maybe. You shouldn't be getting knocked down anyway. Kind of the same thing with stagger recovery, although that can happen from a number of sources, and it's not always easy to predict and do anything about. Vigilante Pursuit might actually be worth it just for the extra % chance to enhance crits. 15% chance to enhance critical hits from primary weapons, which syncs up very handily with Exceltra, which, I mean, I've got those two. Now, if I could get Vigilante Fervor in there, I could have quite a lot. Is it a... No, it's not a melee mod. Is it a secondary mod? I think it's just another Warframe mod. Yeah. Vigor, that's the other one. That's one that might actually even be worth going for goodness sake. I don't care about the energy and enemy radar, if I'm honest. That is the least important part of that mod. I could slap that in there in the place of adaptation if I really wanted to, and I don't. Adaptation's is way too good to not have equipped. But yeah, I mean, it goes up to, it's 5% per, so 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. 30% chance to enhance crits. If you've got something that's critting on the regular, that can be good. That can be good. But I'm not going to go quite whole hog. Alright, let's see. There's Mezzos, right? Still just a defense at the moment, which is not okay. I don't need anything Wukong. Let's see. Oh, the receiver rights. Let's upgrade that. And roll that. And cross our fingers and hope for the best. I'm not confident that this will pan out, but eh.
They're dropping reactant. Crack open a relic. The reactant is working on your relic. Find more.
That might be a bit too bright. I may have to switch to... it's not too bad. The speed lines aren't as horrible. Well, they're still there.
Let's clean up their mess. That's it. You opened the relic. Finish your mission and
that went well.
look inside.
Yeah, I may switch those and Let's see if that makes it easier on the eyes. This isn't too bad. Like, the default color scheme, I just can't see anything. With the energy colors, it's just blinding, blinding. Absolutely blinding. So having one dark is not a bad thing, but I have to find out which ones are tied to what.
Is broken. Done. Now get to extraction.
Oh, there we go. That was easy. Again, the enemy radar is like the least important part of that other mod. Vigilante mod. It's the Vigilante boost. Going whole hog on that, I don't think is worth it. It's probably one of the better sets, if anything. Because it can make already strong weapons that much stronger. But it's, in my opinion, most of the sets really do not feel all that worthwhile to max out. They're not like Diablo 2 or 3 even, where it's like, oh wow, maxing out this set is a huge deal and it's going to change the way you play. It's like, well, I only need one of the components. I only need like the smallest effect from this to start feeling its effects and being moderately worthwhile. Ugh. Shafted. 65 ducats, 100 ducats. Let's take that. Why is that 100 ducats? For an uncommon. That seems insane to me. Oh, is that one of the ones that's vaulted? That might be it. I do not keep track of that stuff because I try to get it as it happens. So I'm never having to worry about that. And I think the vaulting thing is kind of stupid anyway. Okay. Getting close to the end of our time here today. Do we have another mezzo up? We do not. Egg. I'm gonna leave this group. Not because they're bad. I'm not gonna do a mob def. Nink. No. Which I think is one I already have. Yeah, it's the BP, and I have everything Wukong, so it is just mezzos. Well, defenses aren't that bad. You can do a lot worse than defense. I think it was the shoot, right? Ooh, the grip. Yeah, I want that. No, I have the grip. What am I doing? Nink. What am I doing? Goodness gracious, great balls of fire. Lord have mercy. Okay, and pray for handles, I guess.
Defend your equipment until reinforcements.
I meant to flip the energy colors.
Watch
Oops.
out. I'm detecting fissures nearby. Do you have a matching relic? Defend yourself and use reactive to open relics.
I do like the way the colors shift.
Use it to crack open a relic.
Although I think strictly speaking it should be a, yeah, blue ahead, red behind, right? Yeah, as they get longer they turn redder, the wavelengths, if memory serves. So really it should be a blue shift. My range isn't terrible, it's just not, I mean, you can't even see it. Oh, there we go. Yeah, there you go. And it shrinks. I mean, I have greater than 100% range, but it's not a hell of a lot. Once he gets rolling, he's pretty good, but it's a matter of getting to the rolling part. Tell you the truth, I'm pretty hyped for Grendel. I think Grendel's going to be pretty cool. I don't know when we're getting him. Presumably not for a while. Because it took a while for us to get Gauss. Though I always hesitate to go and say, oh, you know, DE, Digital Extremes are going to, you know, stick to a pattern for releases. Although they've kept to the MMF, male, male, female, female pattern pretty consistently so far. Or female, female, male, male, whatever. Male, male, female, female. Which is fine as far as I'm concerned. That gives the game some small amount of predictability that it doesn't normally have. Oh, did I just do 2 fires? I don't know. I'm also interested to see what they come up with for augments for Gauss. I keep meaning to check the, what's it called?
That's it. You opened the relic.
It's the section that they have reserved for, there we go, that's 2 overlapping colors sections, or whatever's, yeah, it'll be fine. Oh my gosh, why is my brain not giving me words? It's the part on the forums where people who were founders were allowed to post. That really isn't founder exclusive anymore. I'll remember it in a sec. Begins with a D. In any case, for augments, usually they'll have like a contest there. I don't know that I ever got up to 100% on that. Yeah, you basically want to have his 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, and 4 rather, sorry, as Gauss. Pretty consistent. Like, you want those up and about. They're pretty important. projectiles don't do a mountain of damage, but they do hit fairly hard. Oh shoot, I have not been keeping up. Yeah, it's like you stop for a second and your entire rhythm gets thrown off and you have to redo everything. It's kind of a rough life. It's a hard knock life. Etc. And so on and so forth. Wow, I never got up to 100% on this one either. Wow, that's really bad. None of these do much for me. I'll get the formal blueprint. Oh shoot, I've got a scooch. Got places to go. How many forma did you do on him? I don't know. I'm sorry I didn't see you before now, Yuta Senpai. I guess we're gonna do another run. I can do another run. I have time. It's Nink. Right now, I think I've only got 2. I've only got 2, I think, forma in him. And it's hardly an optimal build. I don't even know what an optimal build for Gauss looks like. I'm still learning how he works, and like I was saying before, I don't know if you were tuned in at that point. Me and a friend were talking it over, and he said, you know, Gauss is why you go to the wiki, the Warframe wiki, because it's just a whole lot of arcane stuff that you cannot possibly keep in your head at once. Not easily, anyway. He's strong, probably, but I'm not there yet. I'm not good enough with him to feel like, oh, this is the frame I want to play forever. In large part because he's just not my playstyle. My playstyle is like Pat Summoners, that sort of thing. Even though I never play Nyx. I don't play Necros much either unless he's needed for like farming. Yeah, I think he's definitely got the potential to be very strong because, I mean, all like in bursts, and he can be extremely durable. Like, he is absurdly hard to kill under most circumstances, like once he's up and running. Particularly when he gets to 100% on his red line gauge. He's very hard to kill while he has the kinetic armor up, but it's the rest of the time. And I like a lot of the time I don't feel like I'm doing much with him. I'm just kind of running around and praying that I get to 100% soon so I can shoot things. Like I don't have time to take a break and watch the scenery, which I guess is how he's intended to be. But I don't get him, as it were. I don't really understand. I haven't figured him out. He doesn't feel natural to me. He doesn't have like this obvious flow. Like Octavia, where it's like, you know, you cast in patterns, you have your stuff up all the time, and you just profit at that point. Or hell, even Baruch. I was using Baruch earlier this stream, and Baruch, you know, he's another frame that has lots of weird, intricate synergies between his abilities, but he feels a lot more obvious to use. Like, you know, you want to build one aspect so you can use another. That's okay. There's the yin and yang factor, there's the trade-offs, whereas with this, it's just kind of, just keep the gauge up all the time, and if it's not keeping the gauge up all the time, you're not doing well. And I'm just like, that's a lot of pressure. I just want to relax and play Warframe. I don't want to have to, like, figure out what I'm doing. With that said, I do think his added complexity and frenetic playstyle does bring something to the game that wouldn't otherwise be there. I've never used him in PvP because I don't hate myself enough to play PvP or Conclave ever anymore. There was a time when I was willing to do that, and that time is over. And that was well before. Yeah, I agree. He's just kind of weird. I don't know if it's like he needs his abilities to be more streamlined somehow. I don't really know what I'm not getting yet. Part of it's also because I've been throwing like Forma into him, and I'm always in that stage where I'm like, oh, okay, well, his abilities aren't topped off. The build I have right now is basically just an all-rounder where I kind of boost everything up a bit equally. It's not really special in any way. The few times I've tried focusing on a stat, namely duration, I tried focusing on duration, but it turns out if you focus duration, because the reason I was doing it was I thought, oh, you know, if I max out duration, then I'll be able to have red line up all the time, and I'll have lots of time to build up its gauge, so that while I'm in red line, I'll have 100% more often. Well, if you have really high duration, that makes it so that it's a lot harder to keep the battery up. It keeps it from increasing as quickly. So, like, I'd have red line up, but I wouldn't have my battery gauge up to 100%. You really need that for a lot of his abilities to, I guess, make sense and synergize well, because that's where you're getting the most. So I'm sort of, yeah, unless they patched it out, if you have like a really low duration, and I'll try showing that off after this round, I'll probably bail, and if you go with negative duration, it'll build up really quickly. So what I've been thinking is maybe do like a high range, low duration build. But I don't really like going high range on him because it doesn't feel like I'm not using his 3 very often, ever. I mean, you can see that I'm just using his 1 to build up the battery, and that's worked pretty well most of the time. And I'll show that off. So like this thing's about to end. There we go. So in order to max this thing out, it takes 1 Mississippi 2, Mississippi 3, Mississippi 4, Mississippi 5, Mississippi 6, Mississippi shit. I'm looking at the right. 1 Mississippi 2, Mississippi 3, Mississippi 4, Mississippi 5, Mississippi 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 20, shit. Call it like 30 seconds. Call it like 30 seconds or more in order to get it up to 100%. And this is at, it's not minimal duration, it's abilities. What are we at? Will this even tell me what my duration is at? No, it won't. I'll have to look it up later. Yeah, it's pretty bad. I'm terrible. I'm terrible at Warframe, but that's okay. I've only been playing it since nearly Word Go, and I'm still wretched and awful. It's the fact that I can't turn when doing this. I can't do a 360 no-scope. 180 no-scope. Let's see. Nope. Trash and trash, but I'll take the Grand Prime blueprint for ducat sales. Not that I need ducats at the moment. But I'll try a low duration, and I'll show you how quickly you gain the gauge. So it takes like 30 seconds natively or so, keeping it up the whole time. There are, I think, 1 or 2 other things you can do to increase that rate, but I'm not positive how. Yeah, and that's, I think, the thing that irks me most about Gauss is it's like, it's very obvious that he's made for open world areas, but there's only 2 of those. They are a small part of the game. Like, the core of the game is like these smaller tiles. Okay, so I have a max rank again. I think I've only got, actually, you might start with a polarity, so I may have only formed him once. It is possible. So where is, okay, and I'll show off, that's what I'll do. I'll show off a max duration and then a min duration. Where is my, I want as low duration as I can get. So where are you? Duration. I think that requires I use, what is that one called? Fleeting expertise. So I can't get to minimum duration because I don't have the mod juice at the moment, but that's okay. We can work with that. don't have a 7 cost fleeting expertise. So low duration. It's a lower duration. I'll go with the max duration real quick. And I'll show you how long that takes. That takes forever. Navigation to... It really doesn't matter, actually. Let me go to Cephalon Samaras. Where are you, Samaras? Miscellaneous. Samaras. Visit Cephalon Samaras. I know there's a way to get into the simulacrum, and I just don't remember how to do it without going to Ceph Samaras. All these new features that I never really use. I only use the simulacrum very sparingly. It's not that I forget it's there, it's that I'm usually a lot more likely to not care much. Okay, so let me get my energy topped off here. Zoop. Let me get my... So you can see how slowly that builds. It builds very slowly, right? Now, when I'm trying to get to 100% on this, it's going to take me a long time. You see how slow that's going? It's taking forever. And it goes down pretty quickly, too. So just ignore the zipping around and just look at the right-hand side of the screen. It's going up real slow. So what I'm going to do now... Yeah, and that's max duration. And I thought it would be great, because 91 seconds while you're in friggin... while you're in Redline, that's got to be fantastic. Well, because a lot of Redline depends on you getting to 100% to really be amped with his abilities, it's not so hot. I don't want to do that. I'm going to ignore all that jive. Let's go to upgrade. I can even just... because I don't care. I'll go with efficiency. Let's get duration. Where are you? Where are you? Where are you? Fleeting. There we go. Boom. Fleeting. So we got 12% duration, which is as low as I can feasibly make it go. And we're gonna rejuice up. I really need to get flow on there because I'm not gonna be able to do anything if I don't have flow. Oh no, I'll be fine. Once I get it up there. Oh my gosh, what just happened there? Oh, did I somehow cancel it? I canceled it because I rolled my mouse wheel. See how fast that is? Boom, 100%. In nothing flat. Absurdly fast. The problem is you have no time to actually utilize it. So, I think having a balanced is kind of the best way to do it. Don't overemphasize it. So doing an all-rounder build, so the all-rounder build I have, which gets my duration to 179%, my efficiency and range are at 30, boosted by 30, strength is at 168 because I've got Umbral Intensify and Augur Secrets, and I just didn't care. I'm tempted to remove Augur Message and swap it with something else that'll boost either my range or my damage, and I don't really know which, or efficiency even. So it's just, yeah. He's hard to synergize out. His abilities are kind of, they're good, but they just don't feel natural to me. Maybe that's the point. I don't know. So yeah, this all-rounder build has been... I mean, you can ignore Vigilante Pursuit. I only have that there because I'm using the Exceltra, which has pretty high crit chance to begin with when I eventually get crit on there. So that is how that be. So Gauss is kind of he's a struggle. I want to like him, but I'm having a hard time. On the other hand, the Augur ability, the Augur Message, Reach, and Secrets is great because the set bonus gives you all that extra overshield. So you get a lot of overshields just by running around mashing your abilities. Actually, it's not a macro per se. How quickly can I cast my one? Not very fast because there's that cooldown time. I can mash that faster. So one of the things I've done is I've bound my mouse wheel to be mouse down is for melee, so I just roll my mouse and it's going. It doesn't care. And then my mouse forward is casting spells, and it does it with whichever one you last casted. Cast. And that's sometimes something I forget. So if there's an ability like this which you can cancel by accident, that can be a problem, like so. If it's an ability that you want to re-up a lot, like the way Desecrate used to be, when when it wasn't a toggle. So I'm tempted to change my mouse wheel up. I'm tempted to change my mouse wheel up to firing, so I can get some of these semi-auto weapons. In fact, I'm going to do that right now. Options, controls. Where are you? Controls. I'm right on them, you doof. Where are you? Fire weapon. I'll make mouse wheel up. I'm going to make sure that cast is not mouse up. That can actually be fairly handy as an alternative means of recasting a power, because you can't, like if you're on the plains and you're doing, say, fishing, you can't easily recast, but if you just used Cloak, for instance, and you wanted to recast it, but you're in with your fishing spear and don't want to get out of the fishing spear, cast the power, recast, it can be pretty nice. So I do want this bound to something, and I haven't decided what. Do I have N bound to anything? Probably. Yeah, I do. Oh, I could make that mouse wheel 3, probably. No, I can't make that mouse wheel 3. Mouse wheel 3 is bound to my gear wheel. What are you? Gear hotkey 1, so I need that. It's fringe stuff. It's not very useful all the time, but it's nifty. Gosh, golly, gee willikers, what's a button I never press? Oh, heck with it. Let's go with like 6. Do I use 6 for anything? I don't think I use 6 for anything, so... And then you use the brackets to change between, so maybe I'll just make that like the vertical line, if that's not used for anything. I've customized my controls, is my point. So if I pick then a semi-auto weapon, I don't even need... Where are you? I just had one in mind. Latron, there we go. I know how to type. Let's get... Does it have fire rate? It doesn't have fire rate. I want fire rate. Let me just do a fire rate build here real quick. Rate. Whoops. Rate. There we go. Speed trigger. Vile acceleration. Vigilante fervor. Why not? And that's about it. So, let me, real quick. Oh, and I'll equip Wisp for this, because Wisp is easy to do these experiments with. So, let me change it to upgrade and change this over to the config A, which will give me... That's me rolling the mouse. Yeah, exactly. I don't know what buttons I never press, because I'm never pressing them. So I can mash that out, but it's kind of a pain. Or I can just do... which is pretty convenient. Now... we're going to switch to fire rate. And now you have a sort of auto rifle. We can do better. We can do better. We can absolutely do better than that. We can do this much better. Oh, that's not actually all that substantially changed. Oh well. It's noticeable though. Oh, I because I clicked mouse 3 and that's still being used for something. Harrow. That's actually working pretty well. It's one of those changes I've been meaning to do, and just never really get around to. But it's kind of been dawning on me lately that there really aren't many frames where I need to roll the mouse wheel in order to cast its powers frequently. There are a few where it's nifty, but but there are more times I think when it gets in your way. Which is kind of what's another one? Oh, I just need, where are you? Dual Toxicist, thank you. I've been meaning to re-level that anyway. And let's get, let me just make sure I've got this actually on highest. Yeah, I do. Highest strength. Okay. So, oh, actually, that's another thing I can do. So I'll switch to a Gunblade. Such as the Redeemer Prime. Or the Sarpa, either one works. And let me get some enemies on the field, because I have to headshot some stuff. Picking at random. I only need one, and I just need him to be enemy level very, very, very high, so that I'm just getting the... Oh. I don't need you to attack me. It's okay. Oh, it spawned many. That's not what I wanted. This is fine. So plop you down. That's not what I wanted. There we go. So that's still showing the Latron Prime. There we go. Much easier than having to click those out. That's a real pain in the rear. And admittedly, I don't have max fire rate on those, so it's not all that impressive. That's doing no damage because they have all these high numbers and I have no damage mounts equipped. Blows through ammo pretty quickly, which is cute. It just jerks a lot because the Latron Prime now has a substantial amount of kick. It's not intended to be fired that quickly. What other weapons does that work on? There's a bunch of stuff that'll work with that. But in any case, that's pretty much any semi-auto weapon that'll be great for. Any auto weapon it's probably not that great for. Anything that you need to charge, it's going to be useless for. Is the Stratifire, does that have a semi-auto? I know the Zenith does. Where's the Zenith? Oh, the Zenith here. There we go. So the Zenith is another great example of a gun that does very nicely. That's me mashing it out, admittedly very poorly. I'm gonna reload and recast. There we go. That's beautiful. So it's pretty good. Even if you don't have a mouse that lets you just kind of free roll. So like this is one pull of my mouse. This is a glitch. Actually a very cool one. If you manage to transition mid-combo, this is more than one pull, I'm doing this just to show it off. So if you're mid-combo and then you try to go, let me see if I can do it deliberately here. Oh, none of this is what I want. Oh, come on. I have been able to do this deliberately, but I didn't take notes when I did it. it's probably because I'm... Yeah, so you have to... There we go. So if you're doing any combo but the right-click combo, and then... So, for instance, the backward combo is really easy to do it with. Oh, stop. There we go. And then you try going to zoom. It'll just keep doing that. Just doing it. And this does hurt. That does hurt, and it does, I believe, speed up with like Berserk. And let me actually try doing that with Haste Reservoir. It's just a lot trickier to get it to come out. Oh no, no. Come on. Oof. The timing is tight because you have to get it mid-animation. It is not cooperating. Yeah. I've gotten it to work with Berserk active, but I can't do it now. I keep meaning to submit a bug report, but every time I remember to do it, I'm like, oh, I need to go and do stuff. Speaking of which, I actually do need to go and do stuff right now. I do have to kill the stream. I do this every Wednesday. Same time, same station. Starting at noon Eastern Standard. I've got a Storybook Saturday stream where I'll read short stories, thrilling short stories to people, usually of a science fiction-y nature, often pulpy. On Mondays, I do something giant robot-related, or at least mecha-related, for a Mecha Mondays stream. But yeah, feel free to tune in whenever. Follow, subscribe, whatever the rigmarole I'm supposed to tell you to do is. You people know how to do that better than I do. I have no idea. I just did this, started streaming for fun, for the hell of it, because I could, and I had the equipment to make it happen. But yeah, so that's my Warframe for today. Thanks for tuning in. Hope to see you later, Yuta Senpai. Anytime you want to play as well, I'm on PC. Feel free to hit me up. And that'll be Warframe Wednesdays. I have been your host today, Fraggoth. And yeah, enjoy. Have a great week.